Most AI today works like a solo genius, right? A single powerful mind just chipping away at a problem. But what if the next great leap forward isn't about making a smarter AI, but about making a team of them? We're about to dive into a whole new era for AI, one that's built on collaboration.
Just think about that for a second. Instead of one AI trying to tackle some incredibly complex problem, what if you had a whole team of AI agents, all working together, delegating tasks, building on each other's ideas? What could they actually achieve? This one question is really at the heart of a groundbreaking new way to think about AI reasoning.
All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start by looking at the wall current AI has kind of hit. Then we'll introduce the big breakthrough, see how it actually learns to work like a team, check out the, frankly, game-changing results, and then we'll wrap up by looking at what this all means for the future of AI. Researchers have a name for this vision: agentic organization. It's this core idea that individual AI agents can team up to form systems that solve problems way beyond what any single agent could do on its own. It's a fundamental shift from solo intelligence to collective intelligence.
But if we're going to build this future, we first have to understand why our current AI models are struggling. Why can't they just team up already? Well, the answer is really baked into how they're designed to think.
So to really get this breakthrough, you gotta know how AI thinks today. And it's usually one of two ways. The first is sequential. Think of one person solving a puzzle, one single piece at a time. It's thorough, sure, but it is painfully slow. The other way is parallel thinking. This is where it runs the same problem independently a bunch of times, and they just kind of votes on the best answer. It can be better, but it's super inefficient. You're always limited by your slowest thinker, and there's no real collaboration happening at all. And that brings us to the breakthrough. It's a totally new paradigm called asynchronous thinking, or AsyncThink for short. And let me tell you, it is a completely new way for these large language models to structure their own internal thought process. What AsyncThink does is create an agentic organization right inside the AI. It essentially learns to play two different roles: an organizer, which acts like a project manager, and then multiple workers, who are like the team members. So the organizer breaks down a problem, assigns all these little subtasks to the workers, and then pulls the results back together to build the final solution. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because this analogy makes it all click. Think of a single AI agent, like one core in your computer's CPU. Okay, so an agent pool, that's like having a multi-core CPU. You've got more power, more capacity. But the real magic, the secret sauce, is the organization policy. That's the software, the multiprocess program, that tells all those different cores how to actually work together efficiently. And this is just brilliant in its simplicity. The organizer manages this whole complex dance using just 4 simple text commands. It can think by itself, it can fork a subtask out to a worker, it can join to get the results back from that worker, and finally, it can answer when the job is all done. It's like a super simple but incredibly powerful language for AI teamwork. But here's the part that really blows my mind. The AI isn't just following some pre-programmed script that a human wrote. No, it actually learns how to be a good organizer. It figures out which tasks to delegate, when to wait for results, and how to combine them in the best possible way. And this happens in 2 main stages. First, there's supervised fine-tuning. This is where the model just learns the basic rules of the game. The syntax of how fork and join work. But then it moves on to reinforcement learning. This is where it plays the game over and over and over, getting rewards for being accurate and efficient. Until it doesn't just know the rules, it masters the winning strategy. Okay, so that all sounds great in theory. But does this new team-based approach actually work? Well, the answer is a resounding yes. The results aren't just a small improvement, they are a massive leap forward. So get this, on really complex math problems, AsyncThink slashed the time it took to get an answer by 28% compared to the old parallel method. But here's the real kicker. It did that while also improving accuracy. That is the holy grail, right? Getting a better answer and getting it faster. And just look at this chart. On a really tough task that needed 4 different correct solutions, the standard methods were hovering around 70% accuracy. AsyncThink? It shot up to 89%. That is a huge leap, and it just shows its superior ability to explore a problem and find multiple valid answers by working as a team. And for me, this is the most impressive result of all. After being trained only on that number countdown ask, the researchers gave the model a totally new challenge: 4x4 Sudoku puzzles. With literally zero specific training for Sudoku, it achieved nearly 90% accuracy. This proves it didn't just learn a task, it learned a general, flexible skill, the skill of how to organize thinking. So you can see this is way more than just a clever technique. It's a foundational shift. It's opening up a whole new frontier for what AI can do, and maybe more importantly, how we can interact with it. The possibilities from here are just incredible. I mean, imagine scaling this up to thousands of specialized AI agents, or creating recursive organizations where a worker can become a sub-organizer and build its own little team. And maybe most exciting of all, building hybrid teams where humans and AI are collaborating using this exact same fork and join protocol. The real takeaway here isn't just that AI is learning to work together. It's that we are learning how to architect that collaboration. And that opens up a final, fascinating question for all of us. As these powerful AI organizations become a reality, what's our role going to be on the team?